Gerry the Monk Hutch, an infamous figure in Ireland's underworld, is now rumoured to be considering an unprecedented move into politics, as he explores the possibility of running as an independent candidate in the next general election. If he does decide to throw his hat in the ring, Hutch's campaign will primarily aim to challenge Sinn Féin leader Mary Lou McDonald for a seat in Dublin Central, a constituency that covers the north inner city, an area Hutch knows well as his childhood home. Welcome back to Crime Chronicles. Stay tuned as we look how the Monk's potential candidacy is already generating substantial media interest and speculation, with supporters and skeptics alike debating his motives, chances of success, and if being a gangland figure should disqualify him from running. Hutch, now 61, has lived a life marked by crime and controversy. Known for his quiet and unassuming demeanour, he was given the nickname The Monk by journalist Veronica Guerin in the mid-1980s, following his release from prison in 1985. Despite his nickname, Hutch would go on to become one of Ireland's most notorious criminal figures, allegedly involved in numerous high-profile robberies and leading the Hutch crime gang, which is one of the most well-known crime syndicates in Dublin. One of the most infamous chapters in Hutch's criminal history is his alleged involvement in the violent Hutch-Kinahan gang feud. This feud escalated drastically following a brutal attack in 2016 at Dublin's Regency Hotel, where a man associated with the Kinahan cartel, David Byrne, was killed. Hutch was charged with murder in relation to this attack, but was acquitted last year. Despite former Sinn Féin councillor and state witness Jonathan Dowdall's testimony, in which Dowdall alleged Hutch had confessed his involvement in the attack, the court found insufficient evidence to convict him. Hutch's recent acquittal has allowed him to re-establish himself somewhat in his North Dublin community. Since his release, he has been spotted attending public events and engaging with locals, reportedly receiving warm welcomes from many residents. His potential entry into politics seems, in part, to be motivated by an ongoing grudge against Sinn Féin, particularly due to Dowdall's role as a witness against him. If Hutch's run does proceed, it will likely target Sinn Féin's voter base, which has been historically strong in Dublin Central, but has recently experienced some slippage in popularity amid various controversies. In the face of these developments, Hutch has been seriously considering a campaign for weeks, and according to reports from the Irish Times, he is now close to a decision. While his family and representatives have not publicly commented on the matter, sources close to Hutch suggest that his main goal would be to chip away at the Sinn Féin vote in the constituency, potentially affecting McDonald's hold on her seat. Many Dubliners view Hutch in a complicated light. While his criminal background is extensive, he has over 30 convictions and is suspected of involvement in some of the largest heists in the country's history. He is also widely respected within his community. His involvement with Corinthians Boxing Club, for example, has given him a visible presence in the area, which could serve as a local campaign headquarters should he choose to run. Supporters claim that Hutch, despite his checkered past, has a better understanding of the inner-city community's struggles and challenges than most politicians. If Hutch does decide to run, he would need either 30 signed statutory declarations from local constituents or a €500 deposit to enter the race, requirements that he would likely meet without issue. However, significant questions remain about his potential voter base and how much support he could realistically muster. Political analysts have been evaluating his odds, with many placing low probabilities on his success. A recent assessment by Casinos.com suggests that while there is a 1 in 2 chance of Hutch actually running, his probability of winning a seat is substantially lower. The odds of his receiving between 0 and 999 votes in the constituency are at 50%, while his chances of surpassing 1,000 votes hover at around 57.9%. For Hutch to gain over 7,000 votes, he faces steep odds of only 3.8% based on these projections. Despite these figures, it's clear that Hutch's entry would draw media attention, amplifying his platform in ways other independent candidates typically lack. He could draw votes away from both Sinn Féin and other parties, such as the Social Democrats, who also have a strong presence in Dublin Central. In the previous election, McDonald and Sinn Féin captured over 11,000 votes in the constituency. Although Sinn Féin's recent polling has shown some decline, they remain a formidable force, and many political insiders doubt that Hutch would pose a serious threat to McDonald's seat. Government officials have also weighed in on the speculation around Hutch's political ambitions. Politician Michael Martin recently expressed his doubts that Hutch would actually pursue the seat, describing the rumours as surprising and questioning whether there was any genuine substance to them. Martin's remarks reflect the incredulity of many who view Hutch's potential candidacy as an unlikely stunt rather than a credible campaign. The potential for Hutch to participate in mainstream politics, however, reflects the unique, and some might say, unpredictable character of Irish electoral politics, where populist and anti-establishment candidates can sometimes succeed despite controversy. His potential campaign would be driven by a personal vendetta as much as it would by any defined political platform. Should he formally announce his candidacy, the dynamics of the Dublin Central race could shift unpredictably, especially if he does manage to draw votes away from other contenders. Hutch's chances of success remain dubious, but the unprecedented nature of his run could make it a captivating part of the upcoming election season. If he does enter, the election could become a battleground for Dublin Central's diverse political landscape, giving voters an unusual choice between a career criminal turned candidate and seasoned politicians. For some voters, his candidacy might symbolise a form of protest, particularly among those disillusioned with traditional party politics and seeking a candidate who claims a deep understanding of the area's hardships. For now, it remains to be seen whether Hutch will make his bid official. When it comes to people who've had brushes with the criminal justice system, it's only if you're currently in prison for more than 6 months that you're not allowed to run for office in the Irish Republic. Allowing individuals with criminal convictions to run for public office is fairly standard in Europe. Hutch is over 21 and an Irish citizen, and not in a profession that disqualifies him, such as being a judge, in the police or armed forces. So ultimately, he can seek office regardless of his criminal past. Should he decide to proceed, his campaign could become one of the most talked about aspects of the upcoming election, sparking national conversations about criminality, redemption, and the nature of political representation. As with much of his life, Gerry Hutch's next steps are shrouded in mystery, but his potential candidacy has already raised questions about the evolving landscape of Irish politics and the lines that might still exist between notoriety and public service. Thank you for joining us today on Crime Chronicles. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the channel with your friends.